Dear friends, welcome back. In this video, I'd like to do this machine EvilBox 1 again. However, I'm going to take a different way. That is Python. I will use Python to exploit both local file inclusion vulnerability and command injection vulnerability at the same time. Usually, if you want to exploit these two vulnerabilities, you need to do them one by one. However, if we use Python, we can do them at the same time. I think you will get my idea when we get there. So without further ado, now let's just get started. Let's head over to ℎ𝕐𝕋 VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. So as you can see over here, the last one belongs to the target machine. So what are we going to do next? We need to launch the Nmap to scan open port number and also need to retrieve service information. To save time of this video, however, I've already done that before, so now we just get out its result. As usual, as you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. Last option of all is ON to output the result into this file. So from the Nmap scanning results, we can tell that the target has two open port numbers. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service or secure shell service, and also the version information. I don't think we can find any workable exploit for this particular version. And the second one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information, Apache 2. So I think it's very clear what shall we do next. We need to do emulation with this web application, both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser of Firefox to do the manual emulation first. And we can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. Press enter. Unfortunately, we are just given the default Apache 2 page. However, when you do CTF-like machines, you need to look at the page very carefully, because some authors will put something important into the page, but it's not this case. And also we need to check its source code. We can scroll down a bit to the bottom. We cannot find anything useful from its source code. Next, we need to check whether this site has robots file. It has, but this is not a valid entry or directory. Just some sort, maybe this is some sort of username we can copy and paste onto our notebook. Okay, so how to do next? We have already completed the manual emulation with the web application, and now it's time to enter automatic emulation with the web application. First utility I'd like to use would be ℎ𝕍𝕏. Press enter. And the ℎ𝕍𝕏 can give us very useful information about the web application sometimes. And as you can see over here, the banner, the request header, and the ℎ𝕍𝕏 discovered this directory, we can copy and paste over here. But before we try to access this directory, we can launch the ℎ𝕐𝕋 to do the directory enumeration to save time, right? We need to do things in a parallel way. And the IP address, auto-complete this command. Let's press enter. So in the meantime, we can go back to the browser to access the discovered secret directory. Secret. However, nothing returned from the target. And also be careful, we need to check its source code. Sometimes the page is empty or blank. However, there's some information in its source code. And let's go back. So similarly, ℎ𝕐𝕋 can also discover secret. So I do not want to wait anymore to save time of this video. So of course, the ℎ𝕐𝕋 cannot find anything else beyond these things. So how to next? Maybe we can do deeper directory enumeration for the secret. Secret. Press enter. So this is this. Oh, the ℎ𝕐𝕋 successfully found the evil. You know, the name of this file implies we need to pay very much attention to this file. We can copy and paste onto our notebook. So next, I think we need to access this file under secret directory. Press enter. However, we still got nothing from the target. So how to next? Maybe we need to pass parameter to make it work or to get information from the target. So at this point, we can make a very reasonable guess. Maybe this evil has two possible vulnerabilities, including the file inclusion vulnerability, also the command injection vulnerability. Usually we can just, I mentioned at the very beginning, we can use fuzzing tool like wfuzz tool. You know, the fuzzing, web fuzzing tool. The first one is this one. I always use this tool, and also FUF, okay? But, you know, to test or to exploit these two vulnerabilities, we need to do them, or we need to do such exploitation one by one. So I'd like to take Python to exploit them at one time. Okay, let me show you what I mean in action. And I'd like to interrupt the ℎ𝕐𝕋 because ℎ𝕐𝕋 cannot find anything under secret directory. So we can launch our editor of PyCharm, or maybe the IDE, because PyCharm can provide more functions beyond editor. And we can create a new file, Python, and the name like exploit. We do not need to explicitly specify the extension. The PyCharm can do this for us automatically. And the module I'd like to use or like to import is requests module. You know, this is the third-party module. We need to use a pip to install manually. Okay. Now we can import a sys module. So sys module can do some things. For example, can handle arguments specified by the user, and also can control the flow of a program. Okay. And also I'd like to import time, because sometimes we need to introduce some delay between each request. Otherwise, the target machine will be flooded with our massive requests. Okay, so that's all. And first of all, we can define the base URL. and we can copy from the browser. So the base URL, and maybe also, when you when you try to pass parameter, always there will be between the file name and the parameter, there should be question mark. Okay, and then now we can press enter. Next, we can, of course, you can use appropriate word list, but for me, I always use the ℼ𝕐𝕋 word list, a bit big. And so how to do? We can, first of all, maybe we can open or use built-in word list, okay, with open user share word lists and ℼ𝕐𝕋 and directory. Yeah, maybe we just select what we want. Yeah, the first one. And we can pass the parameter, the mode, read-only mode, as F. And then we can make loop. We can use for, or maybe we can use a while loop. But for is more convenient for this case. But in some special cases, if the word list is very, very big, and for a loop cannot work very well, there will be some error. So in that case, we can use while loop. Okay. So, and also while loop can be combined with try and except in construct to capture the error. Okay, or maybe exception. So, but in this case, we can use for and line in read lines. So, this method will retrieve all lines from the file. Okay. And the next, we can call it word. We need to strip space in the end. Okay. So now we can combine base URL and the word URL would be, we can use a formatted string. Okay. And we can use the parentheses, the base URL, and followed by another placeholder word equal to, for example, if you want to exploit the file inclusion vulnerability, usually we can try to access a password file, right? So we can use password file. Okay. So that's it. So for each iteration, this would be replaced by this value. Okay, and also similar to this variable. Okay, so now we can response requests get method. The request can support different methods like a get, like a put, like a post, delete. But usually the most common method of request would be get and post. So the URL, okay, and we can have condition if response status code is 200. It means that the request is successful. And also, in this case, even the request is successful. However, if the content is blank or is empty, this means the parameter is not correct. Okay, so how to do? We can use another condition if length response text to 0, it means that we can print out the, so I have a call. I'd like to interrupt the recording. I'm back, sorry about the interruption. So now we can continue. We can print something like, we can print out like found parameter or valid parameter, okay? And we can put a line break, and then we can print out the URL, and also we can print out the response text. And we do not need to go on, right? So we can exit from program. Also, just now we just test against the file inclusion vulnerability. I think we can exploit the command injection vulnerability in the meantime, okay? So how to do? We can URL, we can use the same name for variable URL, but here we will construct it differently. We can use the ID commands, okay? So Python is very convenient for us. And then now similarly, we just copy this block of a code and put it over here, okay? And also we can try to, we can try print some message in the progress. We can try to access the URL. Okay, URL. And just I mentioned before, we need to use time sleep method, because we need to introduce some sort of delay, maybe like this one. So the request will not be sent very quickly, okay? Otherwise, possibly the target machine will be dead. So I think that's pretty much it. Now we can test our program to see whether there is any error. Okay, so now we can run Python exploit. Press enter. Try to, we need to run it for a bit while. When it's done, I will come back. See you there. All right, after a bit while, our program successfully found valid parameter, and the parameter name is command. And also we are, given this output or this result. So it means that the target indeed has file inclusion vulnerability rather than command injection vulnerability. Again, we can use Python to exploit these two vulnerabilities at one time or at the same time. All right. So now I think from here we can know that the target has one normal user. We can copy. And what can we do next? If we can confirm the target has file inclusion vulnerability, what can we do next? The methodology would be like this one. First, we need to check whether we can get some, we can access the private key. Next, we can try to access the history file. And also we need to check whether we can access the log file. Okay? And also the Apache, if the target is run Apache, we can try to access Apache access log file. And also we need to check whether the target has remote file inclusion vulnerability. Okay? So next we can try one by one. Okay? So now we can use the Q Let's press enter. As you can see, we successfully retrieved. Indeed, the private key of this user is there. And also we have already retrieved this private key. And now we can write into the file. And in order to use this private key, we need to change the mode. I think for 00 is fine. And somebody will say you can use the 600, but for 00 is fine. The least privilege principle, right? So next we can try to SSH to the target. However, we need to supply the passphrase to use this private key. And now we need to use another tool, SSH to John, SSH to John. And this program can convert the private key to the hash value, and then we can use the John the Ripper to crack it. Of course, I've already done such cracking before, so now to display the cracked password, we can use the show option. And this is the passphrase. So now we can SSH to the target again, and we can copy this passphrase to continue. Okay. Now we need to do some local. Yeah, of course, we can get the user flag. Next, we need to do some local immersion. Just one normal user. Of course, it's for certain. And next, we can go to apt directory. Nothing there. Go to the var. Go to the backup. Nothing here. Go to www directory. Secret. I don't think we can find anything here. So now I think also we can check its kernel. Of course, this kernel is a bit outdated, but I'm not going to take kernel level exploit to elevate privilege. So instead, I'd like to upload the ℙ𝕆𝕃 shell script to the target to do the automatic immersion. I'd like to copy from my toSets directory. And the next, in order to upload this file to the target, the easiest way is to set up a web server on Kali Linux machine. By Python, yeah, we just use default port number of this module. And now we go back to the target shell. We can use wget. So how about the IP address of my own machine? We can use ifconfig. So this one. And ℙ𝕆𝕃. We need to make it executable. And we just run it. If the target machine is Linux, in most cases, we need to utilize the power of this script. As you can see over here, it's done. And then we can scroll up to see whether we can find some sort of vectors which allow us to elevate privilege. Yeah, here, interesting writable files owned by me or writable by everyone. Password file. We can confirm by run ls command. So I think every user or everyone can modify or manipulate this file. I think privilege escalation would be very easy. We can create a new user, and the new user will be assigned encrypt password, and then we can use this because this user will be assigned root privilege as well. So we can use this user to get a privileged shell. Okay, let me show you what I mean. This is my way. And first of all, we can copy the first line and put over here, and we can create a new user like my name, JSON. And the next we need to create or generate the password. We can use sudo open SSL. And I'd like to autocomplete this command. of course, you can use anyone for sort. And this option specifies the hash type. I think this is the 500 SHA 512. Anyway, we can copy and sorry, not here. We can replace this X by our encrypted password, and then we can copy this whole line. And let's go back to target shell. We can use echo. We can append. Yes, very important. Append rather than write, or rather than overwrite this file. Okay. It's okay. And now we can, we can switch to new user JSON, and the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's okay. Now we can navigate to root directory, and then we can grab the root flag without any problem. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.